Hi everyone, so this is just a short video, and so this is just me using examples from my own life about how the teachings of Archangel Raphael and the Brotherhood who I work with, who are made up of many enlightened beings, how it's actually affected my life and helped me. I want to talk about something that I've been recently working with, and it's to do with a past life. Actually, I was working on the theme of feeling a lot of injustice and a lot of upset and so forth, and I was taken back to a life that I had, and it was with my best friend Joe, who actually died in this life, unfortunately, and and it was taken back a long time ago, and it was actually it was awful what happened, where I was basically befriended. So Joe and I were befriended in that life, by two women. And we really believed they were our friends, and I believe they befriended us over a period of time. And then one day they took us to the temple of Isis, and they took us to an underground chamber there, some chamber, and I think they said, "Oh, I want to show you something." Obviously, they had some sort of ruse, to get us there. And I remember in that life, Joe and I, we really liked these two women, and I got the feeling that maybe we didn't have many friends in that life as well, and these women were really friendly to us and nice, and but anyway, yeah, so we got taken in by that. And when we arrived there was like a whole group of women there, and there was a ritual going on, and actually, even as I talk about it, I can see it, and they were wearing cloaks, and there were 7 of them, and actually, oh, yeah, I'm just checking the details actually with Raphael as I speak, and and um, and actually, all these women I've met in this life, and actually, one of the women who had befriended me, I'd actually met in this life. He was a man, and the other woman was a woman. But all and both those people had actually been friends in this life, or I believe they were friends, and then saw they weren't. And anyway, so I went there, and there were all these women, and yeah, what they did is it's actually very awful. They killed me and Joe, and they killed Joe first, and they deliberately did Joe first to cause me maximum pain. To watch that, and they cut her throat, drank her blood, and then killed me as well. So they were doing sacrifices there, and this was actually all underground. So I understood, like when I sort of revisited this life, I actually saw that the other priestesses and so forth, they didn't know what was going on. So this was like a sort of a fringe, priestesses who were doing this in order to gain more power. And yeah, and it was very awful. And I visited this life, and I saw like the pain, and I felt as I died and watching Joe die, and I saw how it had created many feelings in me, that I was still carrying, and feelings of injustice and life isn't fair, and all this, and these things happen, and they don't get exposed, and all these feelings, and terrible sadness as well, all kinds of strong feelings. And as I felt this, I felt there was no end, to these feelings, and it's all familiar feelings, that I've had in this life, and then I called in Jesus and Mary, Jesus and Mary. Actually, I think it was also. I'm just trying to, as I'm speaking, I'm just, yeah, Jesus, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, and I called them all in, and And as I did that, I got very strongly about contracts, and I saw that. But with all these people, there were contracts, and obviously carried over from other lives, and all the contracts got cleared. And when they did, it was just like magic. And Joe and I were just completely set free from all those people, and we rose up. And I got a message as I did that I never needed to see any of those people ever again. Um, and I just saw us rising up. And in that moment, I just understood something. I understood why that happened to Joe and I in that life, and it's because we had these contracts. I understood the meaning on a deeper level, and what I understood that it was about discernment. And in that life, we were naive, um, and it was about actually learning discernment. And just all those contracts were cut. And we were completely set free. And I noticed in that moment my feelings dissolved, all the sadness and grief. And it was for two reasons, and partly because I was getting the answer, which is cut the contracts, And the second reason is because I was actually getting a clarity about why it actually happened. Because before it just didn't make any sense, and and that was all running inside me, and affecting me in this life, and it just didn't make sense. And it was just like, why is this happening to me, and why are these people doing this, and they're getting away with it, it's all underground, and so forth. And yeah, so it's very, very transformative for me. So, I'm just sharing that again, to give an example about contracts, and how powerful that can be and how strong it can be to clear contracts. And actually, when you've had, I mean, maybe it's enough to just, finish there, but yeah, but it's just a very powerful thing, and yeah, maybe just to add, when you've had many incarnations and you've been hurt by, the same people, it can often be indicating that actually the lesson is just to cut, the contract and move on. And then they'll move on, and they'll have their own experiences that they need to in this world in order to learn what they need to, and you'll go on and be able to have the life that you deserve. So yes, I just wanted to share that, and I hope that was useful to share. Thank you.